So the other person who actually influenced Martin Luther King is Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi, an Indian who came from a very good family in India. He went to the UK and did a degree in law. And when he did the law degree, he decided to go to South Africa. And when he got there, he booked a train. Now, he got on a train dressed in a suit with a hat, like the typical British gentleman. So he sat, the train took off. Now, the inspector, who is black, comes around and says, "But why are you here? You're not supposed to be here." And Gandhi says, "But I have a ticket." Say, no, this is for whites only. The inspector, who is black, goes back to call the boss, his supervisor, who is a white, and they come and stop the train and they throw Gandhi off the train. That is the 1920s, around that time. He was awakened. At that time, the 1920s, the population of India was about 350 million, between 350 and 400 million. In his head, he said there are 50,000 bloody British men ruling India. Why? A very important lesson in leadership. Knowledge and resources give you the threat that you need for. The reason why America continues to rule us is because of the technology advancement that they have and the money that they've been able to earn. Unfortunately, they mismanage the money a bit, and that may get them into problems. But that technology they've had, that lead in technology, has given them the ability to rule this world. So, remember, Britain was the biggest economy in the world. And you know how many British there are today? They're about 60 million. So how many were they at that time? But they rule the world. It was said the sun never set in the British Empire. Why? Because, the sun goes everywhere. They had a country where it was a colony. Mm-hmm. So the sun was shining in all their colonies. So the term was, the sun never sets in the British Empire. And that was true. But they lose their economic power around 1870. Between 1870 and 1890, when America becomes the largest economy. So the British were everywhere. So Mahatma Gandhi is awakened. He must get rid of the British in India. And you as leadership students must see the movie Gandhi. Find time and see it. If you don't find time and see it, I'll bring you back here, make you sit here and you see it. It's very important. You cannot be a leader in this world without understanding Gandhi. He had, by the way, he also had some bad sides. You as scholars in leadership must understand that Gandhi also had his faults. You must also understand that the FBI concocted things about Martin Luther King to make him a bad man. So Mahatma Gandhi is awakened by being thrown off the train. So he goes back to India to lead a movement to make India free of the whites, of the British. So he goes back to India and he knows, I cannot fight these people, they are too powerful. So he adopts the nonviolence as his philosophy. Even Martin Luther King adopted that. So Mahatma Gandhi his story is very important for you as a leadership student. And I really believe this is a movie that we need to see. We have the movie with us, but it's a bit long. So it will, for purposes of today, we can't achieve what we wanted to achieve. We're going to see it. So he goes back, leads a movement, and 1948, 48, I think, India acquires independence after a big struggle. What happened in between there is very good for you to see in the movie. Yeah, I mean, to give you that how Mahatma Gandhi fought for independence. And as I'm saying, you as leadership students, this is a must see, because you need to understand Gandhi. Now, some of you are not old enough to understand the divisions in this country. The divisions in this country were created by whites, by the British. If you go to Karuma, before you reach Karuma, you're going to find a mixture of Banyoro and Acholis and Lanis. And they live in harmony. And they speak those languages across the river. The British were in India for 300 years, but they failed to change the Indian culture. Before that, the Romans had been there for another, I think, about 300 years or so. I can't remember the number of years. And if you see India, there's a Roman architecture. Where is our civil engineer? We had two engineers, somebody else. The Roman architecture it has influence in India, you'll see it. If you hear of the Taj Mahal, that's an influence of Romans in India. And you as leaders, this is a place you must go to. So one of the things you should write is visit the Taj Mahal in India, one of the 7 wonders of the world. So what the British did in India, not the Romans, sorry, the Turkish, the Ottoman Empire, not Romans, the Turkish. Because Turkey was a powerful country. The spread of Islam in the Arabs are very few, but Islam spread to Turkey, who are not Arabs, and to the Persians. Iranians, Afghanistanians are not Arabs, they are Persians. And to Pakistan. There's a big area there where Islam spread. But when they go to India, the Indians have got a very strong Hindu culture. Very, very strong. That an Indian who has been 40, 50 years in the US, get to their home, they sit down and the mother cooks chapati and they eat it. In their home. And when they're out, they have got burgers and gin and Coca-Cola. Back home, they're Indians. And you as young leaders, this is one of our problems, that our culture is going. You have a responsibility to preserve the good aspects of our culture. I always tell people, I never greeted my mother standing. No. When I was a child, I knelt. No. That was a culture. This one is Mchiga, so she doesn't kneel. they hug, yes. And when I grew up, I had to find somewhere to sit to greet my mother.